Aliens are attacking. Except this time it sucks.
Have I changed things? Still I fear the answer's no. In this fucked up world in which I feel I stand alone. All this hate that I feel for you, my one true enemy, once was blind, but now I see. It makes me question why do we choose to live this way. I try to free my mind from what's not meant to be. It makes me question why.
Alright, I'm gonna be completely upfront with everybody right now. This review will probably be less review and more rant because you don't understand. Unless you've played it, you don't understand just how bad this game really is. It offends me, and that's really bad because I wasn't one of the ones who was hyped up for it. And yet I'm offended still, even though I wasn't hyped up for the game at all. Which means I can only imagine what people who actually, really cared about the game and really wanted it to be good and who were, waiting for it for years and years and years because this game was in development hell for a very long time. I can only imagine what they feel right now. In fact, I'm going to say this right now. Just so we're clear, because I know most of you guys are familiar with this game at least. So just to put this into perspective, from almost every conceivable perspective, Aliens Colonial Marines is in fact a worse game than Sonic 06. Oh yeah. And I bet you thought you'd never hear me say that, right? Because I hate Sonic 06, and I still hate Sonic 06. Like, it's still a terrible game. It doesn't mean I think it's the worst game ever made. It's just the one I happen to hate the most because it offends me the most. But it doesn't mean it's the worst game I've ever played. Technically, Colonial Marines isn't, in fact, the worst game I've ever played, but it's up there. You know what actually really pisses me off the most about this game? Even if it was good, even if all the problems I have with it were fixed, it still wouldn't be that good. At best, this game could be very, very generic. That is the best it can do in its present form. Apparently, early footage of this game is supposed to be drastically different and actually, interesting and cool and fun. And none of those are in its present form at all. If it was working. But see, that's the thing about this game. It's not really functional as a game. I mean, it is. It works. You can play it. But only just barely. It's one of those games. To begin with, why are the visuals in this game so fucking terrible? This game was released in 2013. Riddle me this. Why do the cinematics in this game look worse than the cinematics in Sonic 06? A game released in 2006. 7 years before this one. Why does it look better? It's on the same console, too. At the very least, I'd expect it to look, about the same, from a reasonable perspective. Even the in-game graphics, I would argue, look better in 06 when compared to Colonial Marines. Colonial Marines looks terrible for a game released in 2013. It's offensively bad. And don't even get me started on the voice acting or the music or anything of that nature. In fact, I will say that the music itself, the actual scores are alright. That's probably the best part about the game, but the voice acting is sort of questionable at best. So, yeah, graphics and sound are shit. Okay, just get that out of the two things out of the way right now. Graphics and sound, not unimpressive at best. So there you go. But then we get to the core game mechanics, and my god, what a piece of shit. Alright. So, why is this the most generic FPS I've ever played in my life? And that's pretty bad when you consider how many FPSs I've played. It's boring. You do the same thing over and over and over again. Even just the mechanics don't feel right. It just doesn't feel like you're doing anything whenever you shoot a gun or you kill an enemy. There's no impact. There's no appeal at all. It just feels all blah all the time. It doesn't matter what difficulty you're playing on or what. It just all feels the same. On top of that, the lack of enemy variety is pretty terrible. There are a few different enemies later in the game, it's true, but they're so few and far between that it doesn't really matter. All in all, you're going to be fighting exactly two different kinds of enemies. The regular black aliens, or you'll be fighting these, random mercenaries with guns. And the enemy AI is so fucking stupid, you wouldn't even believe. Like they get hung up on these really weird animation loops. Like, I don't even know where to begin to explain the movements. The way these enemies move, it doesn't even look right. The fact that this game was released, it disappoints me on a grand scale. This is barely worth calling a beta. That is how bad this is. On top of that, getting back to graphics, I know I said I was done with graphics, but I really need to go back to this. Textures. The textures in the game are pretty bad, but that's not even the biggest issue. The big issue I have is that even though the textures are bad, there's also a serious issue with texture pop-in in this game, as you will see by this wonderful footage that I have from my stream. You see, like when I was playing this, I just couldn't even believe what I was seeing. I kept going back and forth, and the texture pop-in is ludicrously terrible. The graphics aren't even that good. I mean, say what you want about Sonic 06, at least when the textures were there, they were actually there. They didn't pop in, it's in such an obvious way. Just what the fuck were they thinking? And don't even get me started on the story. I'm not even going to say a word about the story. You know what? All you need to know is that it's really bad and really dumb, and it's all you need to know about. Okay, that's just it. And I just, wow, just everything, And then there's the glitches. Oh, you know I love talking about glitches. Every time I get a game like this, I have such fun with this. Alright, you will never believe the kind of bugs I found on my first playthrough of the game. Alright, so the worst level in the game is probably this sewer level, because of course it is. But you run into this weird alien variant that's apparently blind, so you have to worry about sound. First of all, that mechanic barely fucking works as far as I can tell. But the thing about this alien variant is that when it finds you, it actually explodes. It doesn't try to eat you or anything. It actually it just fucking explodes. That's what they do. I don't know why they do. Just go with it. All right, whatever. It's fine. It is like the only time where the acid is like a threat to you, which is weird and annoying to me because we're talking about highly corrosive acid blood in these aliens, and yet this is the only time where the acid actually is really much of a factor at all, which is really dumb because that was one of the big things about having to fight aliens in the movies, is that you had to be really careful because if you got their blood on you, you're basically dead because it's fucking acid, like really, really highly. Oh my god, I'm dying acid. This is the only time where that really comes into play, which is already annoying enough. But first of all, the walking animations on these things is hilarious at best. But the worst part about this is that I run into this very strange glitch, where I basically became the Highlander. Yes, I'm not making that up. I was immortal.
I'm right here. Kill me. I no longer wish to live on this plane of existence it's okay. Take your time. This is really happening. What the hell? This is terrible. This is I mean, say what you want about Sonic 06, at least the enemies would fucking kill you. Oh my god, do I have to restart from...
Why? What the fuck is going on in this game? Why is that? Why did that happen? Why is that even a thing? What kind of bug does that? I've never even encountered anything remotely like that. Even in some of the glitchiest games I've ever seen. Say what you will about Ninja Gaiden 2. The initial launch of the 360 was buggy as shit. I never became immortal. Shit, at least when it let me swim in lava, I was losing health during it. Come on, guys. It doesn't even begin to fall into issues with, frickin' allied running animations and basic, allied AI. It just, they operate in such a very strange manner. There are times where they're actually guarding walls and they're pointing their guns at the walls yeah, you wanna come, you wanna fight me? Let's go. Bring it on, wall.
I'm terrified of that wall too. I better keep an eye on that shit. Better watch out for that wall.
You keep rocking. Just fucking, watch that wall. Impressive. The most fun I had in the game was when I got the flamethrower, because...
Hey guys, welcome to the world of fire!
I like fire. Man, okay? Back to the game. There's so many problems, it's like impossible to list them all. Like, I could probably play through the game a second time and find even more issues with the enemy AI and just basic gameplay bugs. And you know what the worst part about this whole thing is?
Corporal Hicks.
The worst part, besides the missed potential, besides the fact that the game is broken, besides the fact that there were people who paid $60 for this piece of crap, besides all that, the fact that if you go on the online multiplayer on Xbox Live, there are actually people playing the game still. You could be playing literally anything else and it would be better right now. Like, guys, if you're playing Colonial Marines Online, I implore you, stop that now. Because you could, like, play Halo 4, or Call of Duty, or Battlefield, or literally any other FPS would be better than your current choice of FPS. I just want you to know that, okay? I mean, if you're having fun, somehow, off you go. But wow, guys. Wow. Oh my god, this game is so... You know what's even better? This was a donation. Oh yeah, someone actually sent me this fucking piece of shit. Thank you, by the way, Nick. You know, I can't even be mad at him because he's also the same guy who sent me Titanfall, so I guess he kind of made up for it. Now we're on some kind of equilibrium. He sent me, like, the worst FPS of 2013 and sent me what's probably going to be the best FPS of 2014. So, okay, thanks, but Jesus, man. Wow. Why do you hate me? Basic alien logic. There's a point in the game where you get captured, and you get strung up on a wall. And so this happens to someone earlier in the game, and the chestburster comes out of them later, which made sense. Yet that never happens to your character. So I guess the aliens were like, let's not do our alien thing to you. Let's wait on that. Just don't play this game. Like this is one time where I'm just like, I cannot recommend this to anybody. There is no reason you could possibly play this game. Like even just to laugh at it, it's not even worth it. Just don't. Just don't. Alright? Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.